What's happening, guys? Cooper Carter here for G66, and on this week's Fractal Friday, I'm going to show you one of my favorite foot switch tricks to save your preset and also adjust the level of your sounds on the fly, which can come in super handy when you're dialing in sounds for a live set. On the last episode of Fractal Friday, I showed you guys one of my favorite foot switch tricks to set up a foolproof front of house mute switch. And the questions came in, what are some other hidden foot switch tricks in Fractal units? Well, this week's episode comes courtesy of a question from a student in my masterclass. And as always, this is a very short video, but if you guys would like to join that community and get the absolute most out of your Fractal Audio Systems unit, whether that's an XFX3, an FM9, or an FM3, make sure to visit classes.coopercarter.com for my complete Fractal Audio Masterclass series. So this particular student asked, is there any way to save a Fractal preset using a foot switch, either on an FC controller or on an FM9 or FM3? And the answer is yes, but it's a bit of a hidden feature. Any fan of the Mastermind GT from RJM, which is an amazing foot controller, will be familiar with the Save Preset button that's available on that foot controller that allows you to very quickly save the state of your instant access buttons if you are programming in sounds once you've already kind of got your tones. And we can recreate that button in a Fractal unit very easily. I'm on the XFX3 this week, but everything I'm about to show you is equally applicable to the FM9 and the FM3. Now, of course, when you're editing a preset here on the editor, you have many ways to save your preset. You could simply hit the big save button up here at the top right. You could go to Preset, Save Preset, or hit Control S on a PC or Command S on a Mac. On the front panel of every Fractal unit, you can also hit Store and then enter and enter again to save a preset once you've made changes. But sometimes you find yourself editing a preset simply on the foot switches themselves. Perhaps you're bypassing different effects, you're switching to different scenes, and you want a way to save the preset without having to go to the front panel if you're using an FC controller away from an XFX3, for example, or using the editor. So let's set up a foot switch to save our preset. I'm going to go to FC Edit here. I have a blank switch available on my main layout. And all I'm going to do is go to the tap function. I'm going to select Category Utility. And under Function, I'm going to select Amp, Level, and Save. And you'll see that we have the option to target either Amp Block 1, Amp Block 2, or both Amp Blocks 1 and 2. I'm going to leave this on 1. Our next option here is increment and decrement. And under increment and decrement, we have 5 options running from -2 dB all the way up to +2 dB in increments of 1. We'll get to that in a second, but for now, if we simply want to create a save button for our preset, we're gonna select 0 dB. And this is gonna tell the button to simply save the preset without affecting the level of our amp block 1 at all. And we could go ahead and select a custom function here and simply call it save preset. And now let's select a color. Let's say green for save. Why not? Now I'll make some changes to this preset. Let's say I'll turn off my drive. I'll turn on my fuzz. And when I hit the save preset button, the preset is saved. Okay, so now let's take this one step further. Let's say we're editing a lot of presets and we want to make sure that our sounds across our different presets are leveled as far as their volume. We could then turn to this increment and decrement feature. You might have presets that range from clean to dirty to incredibly overdriven leads, and you want to make sure that those go from quiet to loud in a way that's musical. You could switch between the various presets while in the amp block and slightly adjust their levels, or use the preset leveling tool here under Tools. Keep this open and switch between your presets and level the amps this way. But I find that a lot of this kind of small, granular clicking with the mouse editing can really take you out of the flow when you're in, let's say, a rehearsal and you're trying to play, but also make sure that your sounds are all set the way you want them. So we can turn to the foot switch here to give you a more instant stomp access way to level your presets out. Let's say you're in the middle of a song and you switch to your clean and you think it's a little quiet. Well, why not just hit a +1 dB button once or twice or maybe even 3 times, and then it gets to a level where you want it. And each time you're hitting this button, it's saving the preset so that the next time you come back to your clean, it's right where you want it. But we don't just want to be able to turn up our sound. let's say we also want to be able to lower a sound. Your lead perhaps is too loud. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and copy this feature and paste it to the hold function of this same button and set it to -1 dB. So now let's change our label names to the function. So amp1 +1 dB, amp1 -1 dB. I'll play and then step on the +1 dB button a couple of times, and then I'll play and hold down the button to lower the volume by 1 dB each time. And you'll see that each time I step on that button, whether I'm tapping it or pressing and holding, the FC controller is actually showing me the level of my amplifier block. So you have a visual and an auditory reference for what you're actually doing. And keep in mind that every time I press this button, whether I'm tapping it or holding it, it's saving the preset. I hope you guys will find this trick useful for your own setups. This is something that I've actually employed a lot during sessions with Fractal artists to temporarily give myself a save button on the FC controller when I am programming in different scenes and different presets using the controller, but I'm away from the unit. If you guys did find this video useful, please do make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to G66's channel, and let me know in the comment section below what you would like to see on one of the last few episodes of Fractal Friday that we have this season, this year. As always, if you guys want to get the absolute most out of your Fractal Audio Systems unit, whether that's the Axfex 3, the FM9, or the FM3, make sure to visit classes.coopercarter.com for my complete Fractal Audio Masterclass series. For all things Fractal Audio, keep it right here on G66, and I will see you guys very soon on Fractal Friday.